Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Boulder Canyon here on Farming Simulator 19. We are going to tidy up the sheep in just a minute, but before we do that, we are going to purchase ourselves a few chickens. We've got a chicken pen right here. It is currently chickenless, and there is a couple of other things that we need to do before we go purchasing the chickens. I want to go into here, and I want to go into landscaping like this. Now, the sheep, I'm quite happy with how we've landscaped them. However, the chickens, things are looking a little bit bare over here. I did have a couple of suggestions of different things that we could do in here, but one in particular that I want to do is I want to make sure that we've got gravel. I think that's the gravel one. I'm going to make that small so I can see. Is that gravel? That looks like gravel, yes. Because that there is concrete, which I don't want. And then we got mud, grass, gravel again. That's more like it. That's the gravel that I want. Right. We're going to put a patch of gravel in here for the chickens to peck over, because that's quite an important thing for them to have. And it was also suggested that maybe we could have a little bit of greenery in here as well. So we can also do that. Although, there wouldn't necessarily be a huge amount of greenery in a chicken pen like this, but we can put like a few little bits in. I don't have grass that I can put in, but a little bit like this is going to be alright. We'll just sort of do it like that there. Little bits in the corners here in places, bit over here. Kind of like that. So we're not overdoing it, but it's breaking up the ground just a little bit, I think, making it look a little bit more pleasant. There. Do a little bit in here like this. And we've got the big gravel patch as well, which I do feel is quite an important one to have. Right. I know that there was another suggestion or two of things that we could do around the chicken pen with the landscaping, and I apologize that I don't remember what those suggestions were. I would like to remember, I honestly really would. But yeah, I don't remember at the moment. But one thing I would like to do is I want to put a little bit of concrete down here around this one. Because honestly, it's unlikely that you would... I mean, yes, people do. But you'd be much more likely to have a bit of concrete put down near where you're doing your pressure washing. That would be a much more likely scenario, as you would have a bit of concrete down. Not necessarily over all of it. It doesn't have to be over all of it. So just like an area like that, where the pressure washer itself is, I think that would be perfectly realistic, and we can do it like that. Right. So I'm not going to do any more than that. Now we're going to go in, and we are going to purchase ourselves some chickens. And because of how the game works, we don't need to have a rooster. Although we will buy ourselves a rooster, we will get one of those because we're going to want our chickens to be able to breed a little bit. Oh no, we're not. We're not. I don't want them to breed at all. So we're moving back. I won't get him. We're going to fill the chicken pen right up, and we're just going to go with the eggs. What I could do is I could take it up to, say, 350 chickens, and then once they reach 400 chickens, sell 50 of them off. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Okay, we will do it. We will get one of those. And we got to decide whether we go for brown, black, or white. I'm going to go with the brown chickens this time. That's more of a standard layer in this country, is usually a brownish colour. I know that there are some white varieties, but the ones that we've always had, for me personally at home, have been the brown ones. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to buy 350 chickens. So you just press and hold with this little mod that we've got. I can't remember what the mod is. And it ticks up through nice and fast. It's not ridiculously fast, but I don't have to press the enter button for every single chicken that I want to buy. So I'll buy all of these. Something that I've been thinking about lately is the Great Book of Names. Now, the Great Book of Names, for those of you who are unaware, most of you know what it is, but those of you who are unaware, anybody that supports me on the channel, if you support me financially in any way on the channel, then your name gets entered into the Great Book of Names. And also, for those people who are quite active in comments and support me like that, that's another way of supporting the channel, is being active in the comments and giving feedback and so on over a prolonged period of time. that is another way that people can help out. And so people do earn their way into the Great Book of Names doing that as well. So there are a couple of different, so you can do it like that, or you can support me financially. Any financial contribution gets your name into the Great Book of Names. But for a lot of series, I'm not actually making use of this. I've got this Great Book of Names. The idea is that, hang on, I want to look here because I want to see what the chickens are doing. So we look here and go into the large chicken coop in here. It's all on 0 at the moment. So I'm going to go down here and turn the water on. You can see it running over there. I don't know how much water goes into it. Let's have a look. She takes quite a bit of water. 400 chickens do take quite a bit of water. Right, we'll leave that one running. We now need to go and get some grain and bring that over here. That we're going to use the tractor and the trailer for. So I will take this tractor. We will just move that baler out of the way. It's clean. And then we can clean off the plow. And then we can get the... put that one away and we'll clean the tractor off. And then we will take the food over as well. It's only going to be a minute, so it's not going to hurt the chickens. So anyway, Great Book of Names. This is something that I've been thinking about for a little while. Some series, I'm able to use the Great Book of Names quite a lot. I'm able to put the names in, get them into the series, and use them quite a bit. The time-lapse series, I take 9 or 10 of the names at the end of each episode, and those names get written on in a subtitle, so they're put in. The Transport Fever game at the moment that I'm playing, I'm fairly rapidly working my way through the entire Great Book of Names by naming all of the vehicles. The World of Warcraft series, every time I capture a new pet, I name it after someone in the Great Book of Names. So that happens every couple of episodes. Someone else gets a name put in. So it's taking a while, but I'm working my way through every name that's in that book. The Alps series, I've named some horses, and I started that in the Ravenport series, and I named some horses, but it's taking a long time to work through, and it's going to take a long time to work through because of I've got to keep buying new horses in order to do it. This series I haven't put in anybody at all, and there are a number of other series that haven't either. So I'm trying to think of something different to do that I can start regularly putting more names into the series, because the whole point of the Great Book of Names is my thank you to you for supporting me. And there's no point in having that thank you gesture if I'm not using it, right? It sort of feels a bit ungrateful on my side. I've got this Book of Names and I promised you all to use it in the series, and I'm not using it, right? There's a number of series where it's not being touched. So I'm sort of thinking of new ways that I can do this, and I've got a couple of ideas. One is, I record this series different to that I do any of the others. The others I record a long session, and then I edit it down and slice it up into 30-minute slices. And I'm thinking of doing that also with this series at some point, although I'm not quite sure when I would start doing that, but it is something that I'm considering doing. I'm going to have to just drop you from up here, otherwise it's not going to work. It's going to have to go like that. So yeah, I'm sort of thinking of what I can do. And at the moment, the best idea I can come up with is, well, certainly for series where I don't use lots of names in the actual series itself. So things like this one, the Alps one, and the Prison Architect. What else? What else do I do? Long Dark, although that's now finished and I'm starting a new one. I've started recording it. You won't see it yet, but it will come along. Ones like that, I'm sort of wondering what I should do. And what I'm thinking is, when I say fairly well at the end of an episode, there's probably 30 seconds at the end of the episode where it's just me saying goodbye. And so what I was thinking is I could start putting some subtitles up and just put a list of names. Just grab a load of names and plonk them in a subtitle at the end, and so sort of I will cycle through, so you will see your names. If you've supported me, if you've earned your way into the book, then you will see your names coming up fairly frequently in the end credits, as it were, of each video. So it won't be every single video, because obviously I'm not going to get 200 names. That's what we're up to now. We're up to 200 names, and it's growing every week. So I'm not going to be able to put everybody's names in, not all in one go. But if I'm cycling through them like that, then you will regularly see your names. So for those of you who are in the Great Book of Names, or those of you who are considering doing something to get yourself into the book, would that be something you'd like? Would that be sort of an acceptable way to do it for series where I'm not able to use the book quite as regularly as I would like? Like this one, for example. I got nothing I can name in this one. So either I've got to do hours and hours of stuff behind the scenes where I can put like up a load of signs or something like that, or I could do something like this where your names will regularly turn up, and it would be something that you will see as well, because if I was to just put signs, stuff them in a corner somewhere, you're not going to be seeing those names all that often. I would try to remember to go past them every now and then, but it's still not something that's going to be showing up all that frequently. And so I figured doing it like this could be something that you would like to see. So I'd like some feedback from people today. Would you like to see that? And possibly I just won't do it with this hardcore series. I may end up not changing how I do the hardcore series and just keep the recording exactly as it is right now, without changing how I record this particular series, and not end up using names in this series at all. This might be a series where names don't get used, but I use them in all the other series. So, yes, it's not ideal for some people. Why are you still going up? You shouldn't be. You've got no barley left in you. Okay, it's a bit strange. Not sure why it's doing that. 8,000. Wow. Wow, we are going to be using a lot of grain in here. I did not expect it to be taking that much. How much have I got left? That's a lot of grain. I want to grow oats next, so after that we're going to have to grow a load of wheat and not sell any of it, so that we've got plenty left for the chickens, and then we're not going to have to worry about it quite so much for a little while. 35,000 still, so we're all right at the moment. Another 35,000 litres in there. That's going to keep us going, but yeah, it's taking more than I thought to do these chickens. But anyway, that's all right. We can go back to 5 times speed as well on this now. But that's sort of what I'm thinking about. That's my thoughts that have been running through my head lately, and so I'd like a little bit of feedback from those of you who are in the book, or like I said, those of you considering getting yourselves into the book anytime soon. Is that something you'd like to see, like a more regular subtitle type approach, where you will see it much more frequently? You'll see your name coming up, and so you sort of, like, that recognition will come up more frequently, more often, and it's something that I would like to do. I'd like to be able to put you into the games. But like I say, this one probably it wouldn't happen unless I just put it over the end 30 seconds of gameplay that we have, because this one is slightly different. All the others I have about a 30-second message I do at the end just to say fare thee well, whereas this one I don't. It's just kind of as part of the episode. But this is the only series that I do that in, and it's not. I'm not going to go back to doing it the other, like I do with these in any of the other series. I've got no plans of doing that. I'm going to bring this one over here, and we're going to go and tidy up those sheep a bit now. So I'll park you there a minute, and then I'll go over to this one. The fertilizer spinner, that can actually stay there for a minute, because if you look in here, we go to growth, remove the line bit. That's done up there, except for a little strip along there. This field will need another coat, so we will leave the spinner exactly where it is, and we will just go and take the tractor. I could hose the tractor off. You know what I didn't do is I didn't repair that plow. I hosed it off, but I didn't actually go and repair it. It'll probably be alright. And I will clean this tractor later. We'll worry about that later. Right now, what I want to do is I want to get that front loader on, and then we want to go and tidy up the sheep. And I said previously, I think I've already mentioned this, I probably already have mentioned this, but I did mention previously that I would consider, was having trouble with the joystick a few days ago, where it was working a little bit too fast. Well, it's actually when I was recording, but I was recording Alps, so you're not actually going to see that for probably another week. But yeah, the joystick was all out of sync, and it was like I'd had the joystick leaning to one side when I restarted my computer, but then it turned out that that hadn't actually been the case, so I really increased the dead zone on the joystick on here in order to try and combat it. turns out that the I needed to recalibrate it with actually in my PC settings rather than anything else, which surprised me. I've never actually calibrated it. It's always been fine. So I did. I recalibrated it, and it now seems to be absolutely perfect. I don't seem to have any problems with it. So there's a little tip for those of you who do use joysticks for doing anything. If you do start to have some problems and you can't quite figure out why it's doing some strange things, it could very well be that you need to recalibrate your joystick. So it definitely wasn't a difficult thing to do. It wasn't tricky or anything like that. All I needed to do was just follow the on-screen calibration thing, and it was a really, really simple thing. It was only like a few movements of the joystick, and then let it center itself, and the computer went and figured it all out. So there was absolutely no difficulty for me whatsoever. Right, I've just dumped 8,000 litres of hay in there. That's absolutely fine. Water is fine. Cleanliness is all good now. They're all good as well. We can... I'm gonna leave the tractor. Yeah, so anyway, I spoke about this before in a previous episode. I got distracted by my joystick. About cleaning the animals, or not cleaning, or putting down wood chips so that I didn't have to bother with cleaning them. And a lot of you said, some of you said, yes, go for it, put the stuff down so we don't have to worry about cleaning them. But a lot of you actually said, this is a hardcore series. And if I keep taking shortcuts, it's not going to be hardcore. I'm supposed to come along and check my animals every day anyway. That would be a realistic thing to do, is to spend some time checking my animals. We do that in-game by coming along and cleaning the food away from the front of every pen every single day. So that is how I have proper hardcore going on over here, is I'm checking my animals every day by cleaning them up. So I won't be putting copious quantities of wood chips down in front of the animal pens. We will continue to clean them as we have done previously. Not sure if I got a bucket. If I don't have a bucket, we're going to need to go and get one from the dealership so that I can clean the chickens, because that's something I'm not going to be able to do otherwise. Right, we are getting chickens every 45 minutes at the moment. So a few days and we will earn ourselves another 50 chickens. We've got the eggs in there. That's doing great. Now, over here, I got a bale spike, I got a pallet fork, I've got a log grab, I've got the weight, and I've got that one, but that one, I don't have anything that will pick up and move the grain. So I am going to have to go over to the dealership, and I'm going to have to get myself a brand new bucket to go onto our tractor. So we will go like this, and we will have 11 hours of sleep like that. And we've got to wait, and we can't do any work because we've still got another 30 minutes that we're going to have to wait. There's no harm in running the night through quickly. You've got to wait till 7 o'clock before we can start work. That's our rules. So we're going to... And right there, look, we've already got a load of stuff spilled in front of the chicken pen. It is now 7 o'clock, so we can go down to 5 times speed. We've got eggs being produced over here. We've got 565 litres of eggs being produced right now. I'm not sure what mod it is that shows when I go up like that. I'm not sure what that mod is. I've had people ask me that before. To be honest, I don't know. I can't tell you. And the sheep need a little bit of cleaning up as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and get our case tractor over here. This is the first thing that we're going to do. Going to jump into this bad boy, and we're going to back up over here, and we're going to go and get our seed drill, and we want to load that one up with seed, and then we're going to start planting oats. In this field right here, this one is going to have oats planted in it. As soon as I've got that started, so the oats that we plant, that we're planning to sell all of the oats, so we want to keep an eye on the prices for them. 898. Now that was quite a bit higher than that, wasn't it? I think we were nearly 1,000 per 1,000 litres for oats. Beans are way down. Although we're going to hold the beans. We're not planning to sell the beans. We're going to get rid of them. Eggs at 2,500. Silage is currently 323 per 1,000. That is a really good price. So that's silage right there. That is a really good price. Okay, let's bring you back over there. I'm going to just go like that. There we go. Right. Now, come out of here. I need to change this from beans over... We don't want oilseed radish. I don't want grass. I don't want wheat. I don't want barley. I want oats. We've got oats in there. We're going to go around and we're going to get this loaded up. And then we're going to start planting in the field. And as soon as I've got the hired help take over and start doing its stuff over here. Easy does it. Let's not drive into anything. Let's not get too hasty here. As soon as that one is away... Okay, I need to get a little bit further over. That's what we need to do. Go up to here. There we go. As soon as the hired help takes over on this job, we will then tidy up the sheep. We'll clean them up. And then once I've tidied up the sheep, we will take our tractor and we'll drive over to the dealership and we will collect ourselves a brand new bucket and we will bring that one back. Yes, we could have the dealership deliver it. But I figure it's all right for us to occasionally go over and pick up something ourselves. Besides which, I don't actually have anything over at the dealership that I'd be able to load the bucket onto the trailer with. So it would be just as fast for us to do it like this. So we will start you planting here. I could use the AI vehicle extension to do this the first time around the outside of the field. However, I'm going to choose not to do that because it's a little bit temperamental with a tractor and a trailed machine. It doesn't work all that well. It's all right, but it's not brilliant. I prefer the AI vehicle extension for using it for on the combine. It does do some stuff reasonably well on other jobs, but yeah, it's not great. I mean, I could do it. We'll do the outside round manually, especially with bits like this, because it's going to struggle to get round all of this. But the second time round, I might actually be alright with the AI vehicle extension doing it. It might be able to do that. But I don't know, but I'm still thinking I'd rather just do it myself. It's just easier if I just do it myself. And I haven't got anything to worry about. I'll bring you up around here. And that bit in there, we should have no trouble with that this time. I'm going to press H going down across here. I'm going to let the hired help do its run right down through here. Just like that. It's going to go. Yes, it's going to go. It's doing it. Fantastic. So we have started planting. I will run down through here and go right the way around. I'll do a second pass along there. I think that's all I'm going to do is 2 pass. Actually, no. I've got an idea for this. Well, sort of. It's just to make it a little bit quicker so that we don't have to spend too long getting this set up. I need to plant some grass along the bottom edge of there. So I will just do that a minute. I'll put that grass in there. It's going to be out of sync with the rest of the field, but that's absolutely fine. That's not going to make any difference. So we'll let you get all the way down here, and then once it's stopped like that, I will then go canola, soybeans, oilseed radish, grass, and we will just plant a quick run or two of grass along here. Now, because I've got the... Well, if I was doing a different crop, I'd be able to plant the grass directly straight in over this, because the direct drill does work straight into grass. In real life, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't have a direct drill going into grass, because the grass, the way that it grows in ground, it's... I mean, you can, in theory, do it, but it can cause you all sorts of problems when you're trying to do the planting. So you would normally cultivate or plow, preferably plow, but you could do it with just cultivating. You could just go through and cultivate and not plow if you wanted to. It's just that it's quite hard going on a cultivator to go and do that. To rip up all of the grass with just a cultivator and get it down to a fine tilth ready for planting. So it is quite hard work on the cultivator itself. So there's a possibility of leading to damaged machinery, which you don't really want to do. You don't really want to go and damage your machinery. Now, I thought that the planting wouldn't rip up the old grass, but it does. It's ripped up the old grass and has put the new stuff in as well. And don't worry, look, I have actually remembered to change the crop over before I come back down to this bit, which I genuinely thought I wouldn't do. Well, as soon as I changed it over, I thought, look, you watch. I'll forget all about it when I go back into this field. But I didn't. I actually remembered. And I have now put it back to oats. So we've got grass planted along the bottom there. That won't be ready for... Well, I don't think it will be ready for this next harvest. It might be. We may be pleasantly surprised on that one. You never know. We'll wait and see. We might be, we might not be. I don't know if the grass does grow slightly faster than the other crops, so it sort of you get one ahead on it. Not from when it's planted, but then if we're planting both of these at the same time, you know, I've definitely made a mistake there. I shouldn't be on 5 times speed anymore. I should be on 1 times speed. I need to keep this on 1 times speed, otherwise we end up with different areas of the field being at different growth rates, which is completely unacceptable. We absolutely do not want that. And I will bring you around like this. So once we've got this field planted, and we've put a second coat of fertilizer across the field on this side as well, the only big job that we've then got left... well, not the only big job. We've got a lot of stuff that we still need to do. But the next big job that we got is to clear those trees. We'll go up and we'll have a session on the trees up there and get a whole load of those out of the way and get them sold. That's moving up the priority list now. We're going to want to be getting those trees shifted and done so that we can have a nice big grass area, which we will then be able to go and do a whole load of hay and a whole load of silage in order to start building up our cows. And that's quite an important thing, to be able to build up the cows. We're going to want, in order to be able to say job done and complete, I need to have a minimum of 1 large pen of each type of animal on the map, apart from horses. So I need a large pen of cows, a large pen of pigs, chickens and sheep. Now, chickens and sheep, not a problem. We've already got a full small pen of sheep, and we're now building up the numbers. We're letting the numbers build up themselves in order to go towards a large pen of sheep. And I'm actually hoping to go to 2 large pens of sheep because of the money that we make from the wool. And we'll do it carefully. We're not going to go and blow a fortune on buying more sheep, but I will probably buy a few more sheep just to help speed that along. We've gone and bought all of the chickens now. We've got 350. That will go all the way up to 400 chickens, and then we will sell 50 chickens, and then we'll let them build up again, and we'll keep doing that. So there's an extra source of income coming in, as well as all the eggs that we get from those chickens anyway. I sort of figure that if we do it like that, then we'll make a nice bit of extra money on top of... It's not going to be a vast sum of money on top of the eggs, but there is a little bit of extra money coming in on top of the eggs that we're getting as well. And so long as the chickens reach the 400, I think that that would be sort of quite acceptable. I may go for a second pen of chickens, although I'm not too fussed about that. I'll probably, to be honest, I'll probably leave it. I probably won't do that. I'll probably just go with 2 pens of sheep, and we'll leave it with 1 pen of chickens, because it's going to be easier. Rather than worrying too much about... And I don't want to be sidestepping the grain into the chickens. I'd rather be having that grain that we grow going in for the pigs, because we're not allowed to buy any food in. So yes, the chickens do take some grain, and they don't take massive quantities of it, but I would still rather any grain that we do get be saved up for the pigs and be used for them, rather than being used to feed the chickens, because the pigs are the end game. That's what we're aiming to get. That's our end game target, is a large pen of pigs. We should have everything else quite a ways before we get that final large pen of pigs. Mainly because of the crops involved with feeding the pigs. The amount of corn that we're going to need in order to be able to feed the pigs. Especially as I've now added in a little rule, which I did either at the beginning of this week or sometime last week. I just added in a little rule where we cannot have 2 of the same crop in succession on our arable land. Which means that if we need a boatload of corn, I can't grow 2 corn harvests one after the other. I've got to put something else in between. That could present difficulties for us, and I'm well aware that that could present difficulties for us, which is why I said it. We did the 2 lots of barley at the beginning just because we were running an experiment on the yields that would turn up. Beyond that, I'm not really too fussed about it. we found out the yields. We found out the difference between the two yields with no well, no, we did fertilizer. It was the plowing and the herbicide and stuff, and the lime, and the difference between the two yields. And it was quite an interesting little experiment. We ended up with, I did write it down somewhere. I don't know if I actually kept the number or not. Did I keep the number? I got the original number written down, but I never wrote down the number of the final harvest, so I don't know what the yield difference was. It was considerable. There was a considerable difference. Definitely worth going to the effort of ploughing and liming and putting on the herbicide and everything. We proved that it was worth the extra effort of doing that. So yeah, we've got that extra challenge here to get the pigs done, but if we can get that up there, that would be absolutely fantastic. We get that one, get those trees cleared, we'll get a huge pile of money from that, which will go a long way towards paying for the cattle pen, and hopefully the pig pen as well, because I'd like to get the pig pen installed, and then I've got to, I should have gone the other way, I should have tabbed the other way. Hopefully we get the pig pen installed, and then we can start worrying about buying the pigs, further down the line. We get the pig pen installed, and then we will focus on cows and build the cattle numbers up, as well as building up some of the sheep numbers as well. But for now, I'm not going to buy any extra sheep. I'm going to save up the money so that we can buy the cattle pen. Possibly go and buy the pig pen at the same time. That I'm still of two minds about buying the pig pen straight away. It does depend how much money we get for all of the trees. I'm reasonably confident that we can do it. And despite me first originally saying that I was wanting to put the pig pen up over the top near the cows, I'm actually thinking the pig pen would be better off over here, probably where those trees are there, behind the sheep, because I was going to put another sheep pen over here. Although now I'm sort of looking at it here, I'm thinking, if I can do this. Right, we go here. I can do it with a chicken pen, like here. Right, zoom out a little bit. Now, the large sheep pen where it is, I was thinking originally that the next sheep pen would go here, and it would be like that, there, sort of facing that direction, kind of like that. However, I'm now thinking that that's not... That there would be a better place to put the pig pen. If we put the pigs over there, we dig away a little bit of this, we could put a second sheep pen over here. It's close enough that we would be able to still have access to our hay. Some of the hay would be stored down here for sheep, and then the rest of the hay would be stored up the top, or we can just carry it up. But both the feeding areas would be fairly close together for the sheep and... for the two sheep pens, so it would be reasonably close together here, and then put a pig pen over here. I think that would work out quite nicely, actually. It would be a good place to drop a pig pen right in here. It's close to the grain supply as well, so we haven't got very far to go and carry it. I think that could work out quite well, and also it's close to, because we need the chickens fairly close by as well. So everything there is sort of all close by, and it fits together. So that's why I'm thinking that would be the best option for it. We're going to have to clear a few more trees away for a second sheep pen, but that one's a little bit further down the list. We don't need to worry about that one just yet, especially as I'm planning to, before I go and do that, go and get the pig pen, get the cattle pen, and get all of those other ones set up first. So the second sheep pen, we don't really need to worry about clearing those trees for a little while. Now, I want to start driving this one over the shop so that we can get it, go and buy this new bucket. That tractor is working fine there in that field, getting the oats into the ground, and I have run out of time for this episode. So if you've enjoyed the episode, then please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me, get them to go and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.